My Favorite Hotel by Kelsey Shelton. My fabulous mini vacation started when my little cousin Fisher received 6 tickets to Legoland, Florida for his 5th birthday. Fortunately for me, there were only 5 people in his family, and they didn't want the other ticket to be wasted. While planning this trip to Legoland, my Aunt Jenny noticed that I was going to be out of school for a teacher work day during that time. She called and invited me to go with her, my Uncle Jason, and my 3 cousins. I worked out all of the details on how I was going to get to their house in Atlanta. There was no one to take me there during a work week, so I had to be creative. I figured it out, finalized the details, and said, "Yes, Aunt Jenny, I can go." We were all so excited and couldn't wait. Wednesday, October 15th finally arrived. I went to school for a few hours and then left early that day. I rode a Greyhound bus alone to Atlanta that day because everyone else had to work and could not take me. I'd never been on public transportation alone before and was a little afraid. After riding on the bus for about 15 minutes, I realized that it was going to be a smooth ride because everyone was listening to music and minding their own business. I safely arrived in Atlanta around 7 p.m. and my Aunt Jenny picked me up from the bus station. Even though I felt safe on the bus, the station in Atlanta was really large and intimidating. The most important thing was that I made it safely, and I was ready for the trip to Florida. After a decent night's sleep, I was woken up by my 3 little cousins, Hampton, Finley, and Fisher, around 8:30 a.m. They were really excited about the trip to Legoland. We packed the car and headed out. We just had to make one little stop to see the boys' great-grandmother Willis along the way. After riding for 6 hours, we arrived at Grandma Willis's house. I met their great-grandmother and a few other nice and friendly people. I was a little nervous at first, but everyone was very warm and welcoming. While Grandma Willis was cooking dinner, we all went to a local park. Finley, who is 6, drove the golf cart for the first time to the park. He was so happy and would not stop talking about it. Fisher found a cute little green frog and named him Commando. He wanted to take it with him, but we knew it would not survive the trip. After the long day of driving, playing, and dinner, we drove to a hotel for the night. We arrived at the hotel around 10 p.m. Jenny went inside to check us in while I took Hampton, my youngest cousin, to the bathroom. We came out of the bathroom and could not find Jenny or Jason anywhere. I started to panic. I looked around everywhere and could not find her. Finally, I caught a glimpse of a lady in a white jacket heading out the side door. It was Jenny. I was so relieved to see her. I said, "Why did you leave the desk area?" She laughed and said, "I knew you would find us. After all, you knew we were in the hotel somewhere." I didn't think it was as funny as she did. After getting settled in, putting the boys to bed, I decided to take a quick shower. The shower was so small that when I turned around, I almost fell out, so I tried to finish quickly. We decided to finish this crazy, hectic day off with some room service and then a good night's sleep. We were all excited about taking the boys to Legoland in the morning. When we woke up, it was a beautiful sunny day. We ate a good breakfast, packed up the car, and drove straight to Legoland, arriving at exactly 10 a.m. When the park opened, Fisher could not wait to ride his first real roller coaster, the Coastersaurus. He was terrified and happy all at the same time. Hampton and Finley loved Miniland, which was many buildings made entirely out of Legos. The last ride, my favorite, was a double-decker carousel. We left and drove about 2 hours to our next hotel, the Hyatt Regency Grand Cypress. This hotel had bicycles, hot tubs, warm pools, cold pools, golf, hydro bikes, paddle boats, and many more amenities included with our stay. My cousins loved the talking parrot in the hotel lobby. His name was Merlot, like the wine. Before the day ended, we went to the pool to swim for a few hours. Back at the room, we ate dinner and got ready for bed. I put the boys in bed while Jason and Jenny went out for a little while. I decided to relax by watching TV and talking to my friends until they came back. When they finally got back around 1 a.m., we all went to sleep. We were all exhausted from the long day at Legoland. The boys woke up bright and early the next morning as usual. I gave them a little bit of breakfast and then let them work on their Legos so the rest of us could sleep in a little bit longer. Once we all finally got up and got showered, we went downstairs to get some more delicious breakfast. After that, we headed outside to see if we could ride the 6-person bikes. The bikes were really fun. The 2 youngest boys sat up front in a seat similar to a basket, and the rest of us sat in the back to drive. When we first got on, we had no idea where the brakes were, so we went plowing through the parking lot. We turned around and stopped to see how to use the brakes and to see if we were going down the right path. It turned out that you had to pull down the lever to stop. Thankfully, we found that out before anyone got hurt. We rode around on the bikes for about an hour, turned them in, and then went rock climbing. Fisher was really good at it. He made it to the very top of the wall on one of the hardest sides. After the rock climbing, we went inside so the boys could take a quick power nap. They seemed very grumpy after having 2 very active days. I anxiously waited for them to wake up so we could head to the pool. Jason and Jenny were already there. An hour passed and the boys were still asleep. Another hour passed and they still had not woken up. I decided that I would go put on my swimsuit, call Jason to switch places with me so I could go for a swim. Just then, after 2 hours, the boys woke up. I took them down to the pool so we could all hang out, swim, and play. I decided to take Hampton, or Hampy as I call him, to play in the sand. A bird walked towards us while he was playing and he said, "Look at that ducky. He is so cute and funny. There's no way I could be upset with such a cutie." We were trying to take advantage of everything the hotel had to offer. Jason and Jenny decided to go out on the lake in paddle boats even after I said, "You won't like it because it's a real workout." I got on the hydro bike instead, which was a lot of fun. I was right about the paddle boats. Jenny was starting to get tired of paddling around and going in circles. I was having a blast on the hydro bike because it's like riding a bicycle on water. After they decided they were done, I kept riding around the lake for a little bit longer until I realized that there were alligators in the water and I was all alone. It was time for me to get to dry land. The hotel had an amazing warm pool with a great slide. We played on it a few times, but then it closed for the day and we had to decide what to eat for dinner. We finally agreed that we would just eat dinner at the bar by the pool. I have to say that the bar food was not very good. I think they should stick to making drinks. After dinner, we went to the game room to play a few games. The games were pretty fun. I played a driving game where I ended up losing my license. Thankfully, it was just a game. The boys played a game where they won candy. I said, "I don't think they need to eat candy before bed." Let's face it, I was tired too and just wanted to go to bed, but they had other plans. They decided that we should watch the fireworks outside the window that were coming from Epcot and Disney World. We sat around talking until 10 p.m. The fireworks finally went off and they were beautiful, even though my eyes were half closed and I was ready to pass out. Fireworks lasted for about 15 minutes and then we went to bed because we knew that we had a long ride ahead of us the next morning. When we woke up Sunday morning, we knew that the vacation was coming to an end. Sadly, we showered, packed, and hit the road again. The car ride home was really long and boring. I knew it was going to take about 6 hours without stopping. We stopped for lunch, gas, and of course bathroom breaks, so that pushed us back another hour. We watched movies all the way home, which was good for the kids, but not for me because the kiddie shows were very annoying and I was already exhausted and grumpy. I finally managed to enjoy some kind of ninja show, and that made the time pass a little faster. We finally got home safely, and my mom was at their house waiting for our arrival. Even though they were home in Atlanta, I still had to ride for 2 more hours in the car to get to my house in Greenville. At least I got to see my mom and tell her all about my trip. 2 hours later, I finally made it to my house. My awesome yet tiring mini vacation was over. We all had a great time and we can't wait until another vacation, which will probably be our beach trip in the summer. That should give me plenty of time to rest before the fun begins again. I think I just need a vacation at a nice hotel. That was my favorite part after all.